Hello and welcome to Saturday. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. My name is Duggan and we are on the Citadel Minecraft server standing in Westhill, which we have a to-do list now to finish up. We made this a couple days ago. It looks long, it is long, but some of these things are smaller tasks than others. So hopefully we will be able to get through that. And at the end of the last stream, we actually went and got some resources. So I need to organize these into our shulker boxes to see where we need to put everything. We've got stone. And some of this needs to be turned into stone bricks. Let's just grab like that. And put that in there. I guess we could turn some of this into smooth stone, couldn't we? Might be a good idea. We can do that too. Let's grab 2 stacks there. We do have the furnaces. Not enough coal though. That will do while we're puttering around. I had to laugh because I feel like your Minecraft to-do list is as long as my IRL to-do list. Yeah, you know, you're not far off, Cosmic. You're not far off. We'll just turn these into bricks. I don't know if we need to do all of them. Yeah, you know what? We probably do. And then the rest, I think, we'll leave as stone just in case. And we can put this in the storage system inside. Not quite sure what to do with the storage system. That's something I left off the to-do list, was what we're going to do in here, but it's going to be the absolute last thing we do. So, not too worried about it. And I can put this back over here. I do need to move the bees out of here. That's one thing that needs to happen. Probably do that today. Spruce logs. I'd say we're good for spruce logs in there. We probably want to make some more stuff. We've got slabs, stairs. I might want to make more stairs. So those can go in the storage. Dark oak. We could definitely use some dark oak in the shulker box. Tend to use a lot of strip dark oak. We could probably also use some of these. We've got gates, we've got fences. Sticks will move. Put that back, and then These can go back in there. All nice and organized. So both of those can go back in the storage system, and then this was just jungle leaves that we happened to bring back. Bring those back in there like that. I thought I had a whole box for azalea. Maybe it's inside. Let's go check. Probably Binky. Things are going well. Things are going well. Spruce. We can put in these spruce chest. Such a simple mod. This animating from. There's two. There's an animation that shows the item going from your inventory into the chest, but then there's also a mouse over, so all you have to do is click and drag, and man, it feels so much more natural and snappy and fun. These are all empty shulkers. Do I have... This is all bamboo. I don't know where I would have put jungle or azalea leaves. I thought I had a full azalea shulker box, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. I could have, maybe I lost it at some point. It's fine. Some of these desperately need to be reorganized anyway. Alright. Chances are we're not going to need the copper. I'll leave the terracotta out. Tables and chairs. That's definitely something we're going to need. I'll leave all the woods out. Redstone. We need note blocks, I think. I think the most logical way to build the note blocks is going to be with the wood that we have the most of, rather than... I use a lot of spruce, but we don't build with a lot of this. So I think if we grab some of these and maybe do our chests and note blocks and things with those, that might be good long term. Grab some of this. Anywhere in there. 3. We're going to need some chests and probably some trap chests as well. I don't know why my cap lock is on. A little bit more wood. It's funny, you can really blow through wood quite quickly. Can I make chests in here? I don't think I made this part of the data pack. lots of stairs. Too many stairs. See, this is all from a village that we tore down. So we just end up with so much oak, I guess, stuff, if you want to call it that. Sleep time. I'm okay for dark oak now, Cosmic, I think. We've got this plus another row and a half or so. So it should be good. I'm not sure I'm going to be building many large structures now. I feel like the to-do list is mostly small stuff. So we did our stack of that. Now I need to make tripwire hooks. And chests. How many did I have? I think we can do half and half. Oh, I had a lectern already made. Huh. I didn't catch that before. Barrels. There's something we're going to need to make a lot more of. So that is something we can absolutely use some of these slabs for. I love that you can mix the wood to get the barrels that you need. That's nice. A nice feature. What else do we need to make? I don't think we need a lot of those, so we should be okay there. Those we can make as we need. Be very specific for them. All the wood stay out. Oh, right. All the stuff that needs to be put away. I just put the copper away, didn't I? Yeah. There's always something in your inventory that just you don't have a specific place assigned for it, you know? Seems to add up. Oh, we don't have any dispensers. Interesting. Not that I need them, but... Because I build like a madman? Well, that's fair. There has been a lot of building. There has been a lot of building. These don't stack after they've been placed either, which is frustrating. That was crazy. That worked out to be... Oh no, we still have some left over. Crap. I was like, that was like a perfect, perfect shulker boxer of gravel. That's odd. That makes sense. Those we can put away. Everything has its place. Now we have 2 stacks of these. Perfect. I don't remember where I'm keeping the wheat. Might have missed it watching 2 streams at once. What was the plan for the day? I haven't made one. I'm just kind of shrinking our shulker island a little bit here as best I can. We don't have room in there. The concrete. A little frustrating that you can't fit all of your concrete into one, like each kind. I don't think you can fit them all together in one shulker box. Can't fit those away. It seems tedious, but in the long run, it really makes a big difference when you can't find something later. It's nice to know where you've got it. Especially if it's in an ender chest and you've got access to it like right away. Very nice. I feel like I've got a separate place for those. Somewhere I also have my bow and my sword. I feel like I should keep a stack of arrows in there too. Somewhere I was putting bundles of wheat. Don't remember where. Oh, it's probably in the mud. Probably in one of the mud boxes. That's fine. Those are just spare. I feel like we could probably better use those for smelting stuff. So I just don't need them. Just straight up don't need them. Put some grass away. So you were planning on a new bell tower. I think it's a great idea. I love how the last one turned out. Thanks. Yeah, me too. Me too. Oh. Got paper. That's here somewhere. It's an odd color for that. Let's make it a little bit more obvious. A lot of my utility shulker boxes are white. Bag of holding. There's a bunch of stuff that I've just brought with me that I don't even know if I need. This looks like the spare box. Container. I've got another shulker somewhere, which means we can potentially make a shulker box. 27 minutes and 15 seconds. Rain. Surprise. Where did I put that extra shulker box shell? Oh, nighttime. How do I color them, Pokemon Killer? You use dye and a shulker box, and then you change it to whatever color the dye is. I sort of have a color code system, but you have to start making exceptions almost immediately because there it is. Because there's not enough colors to be completely creative and have everything color coded. It would be very cool if we could have all kinds of different colors for shulker boxes. For sure. That's just an empty shulker. Shulker box trims. Yeah. The only problem with that is that it would be very expensive. I'm gonna put this stuff in here as like furnace fuel, and all the items. We'll just use this as like the spare items chest. Not really blocks, just all kinds of stuff, and we'll put this here too. Well, this has got stuff in it too. Boy. Oh, that's good to know. All right, well, that's just a lot of stuff. It will be very difficult at some point to pack this up and move it somewhere. 16 colors, yeah, that's right. All right. I think the only thing left to really organize before we start doing any kind of like decoration checklists is these two green bins. I'm happy with the mangrove leaves. That makes sense. We've got a nice bush box. Bushel box. So really it's just these two. And I feel like the green bin and the flowers. This I need to like remove stuff. Although I guess we do use those for like plant decorations. Is there anything in here that's not? That's not a flower. That's not a flower. Technically that's a dye. That feels a little bit better. Dyes are in here. I guess we could do beetroot seeds. I forgot that beets make red dye. Could probably organize this in a different way too. Don't need that in there. That's green concrete powder. Keep those over there. Never know where to keep wheat seeds. I guess they can put them... Technically, I guess we could keep it with the crops. That feels a little bit better. Aldebar, welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Concrete dye box. Alright, I guess before we put all kinds of stuff away, I should start to think about what we're actually going to build today. And the good news is I don't have to do that from scratch. So one thing we could look at is starting from something like the west gate and moving our way in. We could also just pick a different location. So the way that I did this is we've got everything kind of broken down by location. So the west gate, we've got a list of stuff we need to do at the west gate. West section of town. So I can probably explain this on the map. So this is the west gate here. And then the west river gate. This is like the west section of town here. And then Parade Square is this one here. That part. And then that's the moat. Southgate. So that's over here. This is the Southgate there. And we've got Northgate. A lot of stuff at the Northgate are big projects. Westhill River, Eastgate. So the Eastgate bell tower is kind of where I'm leaning because that other bell tower is fresh in my mind. And I feel like we could probably check off a lot of this Eastgate stuff quite quickly. That's the river gate. And then the keep is a big project. We'll leave that till later. Did I delete the... I think I might have left out all the notes I had for the wall. The curtain wall had its own thing. Unless it's farther along. Ah, there it is there. Okay. So what do we think? Eastgate? Eastgate bell tower? So for that, what I'm thinking is something similar to this, a little bit smaller probably. Although that is built on top of a 3x3 tower. But we're going to put one of those over here. Right there. Don't know quite how tall we'll make it, but we can maybe mess around with a little bit of scaffolding to kind of see where we're going to put it. This isn't even done. It's as if I wanted to improve it. But I could see it starting right here and then going up and then having a roof on it. More bell tower votes, Cosmic. Oh, the ugly custom tree. I think it's this little branch that sticks out that's ugly. I can do better. Yeah, I think that'll be an improvement there. That is actually a 5x5 tower. I thought that was smaller. So that's interesting because that means that it's going to fit a little bit different. Because this is 5x5, but it's 5x5 at the top. Up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, well, that's going to be easy enough to do because we don't have to redesign it. We can just kind of copy the design, but maybe change some of the textures. A blueberry. Thanks very much for following. Hope you're having a good day. First follow of the day, I think. I think. So the fun thing about this to-do list is I'm probably going to be able to bounce back and forth just depending on my mood. So we've got, I want to keep the dark oak roof. That's going to stay the same. And then we'll probably do a different color terracotta. Dark oak along the bottom. Gotta remember that the bottom is going to be white, I think. We had diorite, I think, over there. We could end up doing like a diorite top to it, maybe. That would look sharp. I don't know what we would do for the wood. We could figure it out. Maybe granite. We could do some granite stuff. Or jungle wood. Jungle wood could work. So I need to figure out how tall that is. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 to the start of the roof. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It'll go up at least 11. Plus whatever spiky part. It's so weird how you in the window, your little avatar flies upside down. It's very strange. We'd want to start with a full block there. So probably 11 from that spot there. Oop, not what I want. So the change would roughly add this kind of mass to the top of that. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I think that you'll still be able to see the level of detail here at the bottom where we want it to be. Cassiva4, I know channel points are just for fun. They're just fun little things. Sometimes streamers use them in like mini games, and like they'll interrupt their stream and they'll have like a game of marbles and people can wager their channel points on it for like just it's like clout. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Channel points are just fun. I've got them so that people can unlock emotes. So if people are here a lot but they can't subscribe for the emotes, they can use the emotes. Yeah, I think that might be a nice shift. We might have to be careful that it doesn't end up being exactly the same height, but we may have to rethink this section here. Push it up a little bit farther. But if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that's the wood part, that should work. I'd like to try and keep the same sort of design, so we'll have to see. So when that's the case, we need to pack up some of these shulkers and move across town. I think maybe I'll put a good chunk of them inside the keep. Oh, I should move the bees is what I should do. How many bees are in there? It's not many, and we actually have... We've got some beehives set up. I think there's only like a dozen or so in here. It might not even be that many. I've got these shulker bays that I want to make use of, but I don't... Space. All right, so let's get some leads. That is in case I can't collect them all this way. That's good. It's just one. That'll be easy. Come this way, friend. Go. Probably should bring a flower. That'll make my life a lot easier. There we go. I think he triggered the pressure plate. A courthouse bee. We've got like a potential bee farm. I guess that's what I'm going to make it. I don't know. Not like a Minecraft farm, but like just a decorative honey farm out here. I mean, it makes sense. It's a big sunflower plains biome, so it would be cool if we could take advantage of that. I wish they had more flying mobs like this that were just these cute little buses with wings. I feel like we could do a lot, have a lot of fun with these. Oh, I brought the wrong kind of wood. Oh well. Guess this one will look different. How many did we bring? 3, I think? Oh, I'm holding the flower. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, I don't know if we can tell which ones have. Probably the ones with tags on them. One of them had honey in it. That one. Aha. Okay. Sweet. What I wanted. Now that this is done, get rid of all this. And now we've got a space to put all this stuff that we have outside. Bees can be very hard to deal with. Yeah, they're a little bit tricky. Using Silk Touch on your axe, as well as making sure that you've got campfires around when you're trying to move their stuff is very helpful, usually. I'm not an expert, though. I really... Alistair is the one on the server that set up the bee farm, and then after that, I've just been using his. He's been kind enough to let me use the facilities. Grass. Dirt is full. That's good to know. Alright, so now we can pack up some of this. We are going to... We'll need the spare shulker. We'll need probably the woods. We'll bring the terracottas. Need that. That. Probably need all the stones. Sorry about the loud siren. Wow, that is going right by my apartment. Don't think we need the deep slate. That should be everything. And of course, we need to bring this with us. Probably the easiest place to set up is going to be right over here. Although, yeah, no, this is that way we're not in the way of anything. That way we're not in the way of anything. Clemma, thanks very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Whoops, that was weird. This is like the spare stuff, and then you left. Nice. And then the rest of it we can just put away. Hey Joel, new viewer question. What kind of aesthetic blocks do you think Minecraft should add? Define aesthetic blocks. They can all be used as aesthetic blocks. Trying to think about what I was looking for the other day. The kind of thing that's always hard to regurgitate on the spot, but when you're in the middle of building something, you absolutely know what you're looking for. I think we got everything. Well, that's, yeah, their main purpose is decoration. That's everything in the game. Yeah, I don't think we've missed anything. What was it the other day that I was looking for? Stairs and slabs in packed mud, I think was the last thing that was on my wish list. Check out the spawn chunks. We talk about this kind of stuff all the time on the show. Eastgate Bell Tower. That's what we're going to do. So, first thing I guess is going to be to take off the roof. And I didn't bring any diorite with me. I probably should have done that. I see a lot of back and forth in our future. Thankfully, at least we only have to come to the keep now to get our stuff. So it shouldn't be too bad. Bring the calcite in case I need it. That was a thought. Gonna need that. Might need the mushroom. Might need quartz. Ah, I forgot I had armor there. Whoops. Low, gifting 2 tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you so much. The Masurk and Smiles 1945. Thanks so much, Low, for those gift subs. You folks, if you get a gift sub, make sure you thank Low. And also, be sure to join the Discord so you can hang out in between streams. I'll just go up here with maybe the white blocks. And Cosmic is saying we need to break. Probably a good idea just before we get started. So the first hour of the stream is just prep, which I guess shouldn't surprise anybody given that we're at like a turning point in the process in this town. But for folks that are wondering, I take a break once an hour. It's about that time. So I'm going to step away for a few minutes. I'm going to reheat my coffee. You should too. Grab a friend, grab a snack. We'll be right back. Sounds like someone getting cooked. Oh, you escaped. Why are you up there? Overshot. I hear another zombie somewhere. I feel like this road is hollow underneath. Hear the bats. Oh, right, it's over here. I remember this now. Somewhere. Right, so we need to remove the roof and think about where we're going to put access, because I want stairs to go up to this. And right now, there's nothing in here, although it's possible we could add stairs in here. Stairs are out here, which is fine. And we have to maintain, I feel like, this platform here. So we'll bust this down. I'm going to leave this trapdoor level just for something to have a reference to. And try and remember not to bust this last piece. Make getting up and down a little bit easier. I guess I only did that on a couple sides. That little spruce decoration. Maybe that was intentional. I might try to pop out the base of this a little bit too. Make it look a little sturdier. Yeah, I'm not a fan of spiders in here. Either, Cal. Not my favorite mob in the game. We'll get to about here. Cosmic Dancer. Holy nuggets. What a generous donation. Holy smokes. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh. I don't know what to say, Cosmic. Other than thank you. Like 100 times over. Do we get some love in chat for Cosmic? Fantastic moderator. Always making me laugh behind the scenes and just incredibly generous. as a human. You are a human, right, Cosmic? We confirmed that before. Here, help yourself to all of my flowers. I mean, realistically, you're a flower gremlin. I mean, the truth is out, but you know. All right, I think we'll start with diorite just to kind of see if we can make that work. And I will also, I think we're going to use spruce and dark oak. And I've got the dark oak in my inventory, but we'll need slabs. That's good, that's good. Diorite. And spruce trapdoors. Dark oak trapdoors. There were signs as well in terracotta, but I'm not exactly sure what. Just deposit this in the river. Bloop. So the good thing about this is that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can maybe use some polished diorite stairs underneath to kind of get the thing going. Or maybe andesite. I don't really remember if we used much stone in that build. So it's got upside down stairs and then right side upstairs. But that's the first block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a wood type. It's probably going to end up being spruce. And I said I wanted to keep this platform. And I wanted to keep the base of it starts here. And like that. See how we add little bits at a time and see if it makes sense. Yeah, that's visible from the square. I feel like that's a good height. Knowing that the roof is going to be like on top of that. I do think I'm actually okay with the way that it's cross-sectioned. I don't think we need to remove this beam. I think we can maybe leave those. It's interesting. I will probably do the stairs now. And what would make the most sense? I guess probably rushing in from one of these directions and going up the stairs would make the most sense. So, oh, we gotta get over the door as well. That doesn't work. Right. So then maybe we have to start. Oh, there's a door there too. So that's tricky. Well, we get over the window. That works out well. And that puts us here. That puts us, I think, puts the stairwell on the wrong side. So I think what we need to do is just start this going the other way. A little steep at first, but medieval staircases usually are. Let's see if this pops us out where we want to be. Doesn't line up with the window very well. This works better. So the logic behind this is just people that are rushing to the top of the tower coming up to maybe defend it are going to want to be in this sort of position. Right? Unless you do a ladder, there's no real way to sort that out. So that window might have to change. I'm not going to be able to sleep out here, am I? Nope. No, I'm not. CJ, hello, hello. Hope you're having a good day. Just a few mobs out here. We might have to carry the bow with us today. Darn it. Oh, crap. Mm-mm-mm. I don't remember if we changed the settings for creepers on the server yet. I don't think we have. Pretty sure we lost some blocks there. I don't know that I brought much to fill in the gaps. Probably not. I guess we'll just replace it with some stone. Come back with some dirt and grass later. I mean, all of this needs to be terraformed and fixed up later anyway. And you never know, happy accidents might influence the design of things down the line. But already I'm liking the change of this to a bell tower. I think I might leave that as the transition underneath. I don't think we need to make a big stone change. So we'll probably go with 3 stairs across the front of each section. That. Whoops. Is that all my trapdoors? No. We should be able to get up now on the stairs. Ta-da. Not like that. We might switch these to dark oak later. We might have to tie them into the roof, but for now, I think we're good. And now I just have to figure out how we did the roof. Introvert Tiger, thanks very much for the follow. Oh, so there's 2 rows. Oh crap, maybe I've lined this up wrong. Ah, that's on the top row. Right. I might actually like the diorite here, you know? But then this has to keep on going up. And then we run into the same problem we were at last time. Oh no, wait, that should still work. If anything, it's a little bit better. The wood and the diorite looks a little bit funny. Yeah, it's gonna look weird until we get the top part on. Yeah, Masirk, that was from Low. Your gift sub is from Low. Make sure you join the Discord. Well, you're probably already in it, given that that's a 3-month sub badge. One last month you have to worry about. Two, three, four. So then the corners are slabs. Top slab. And then 3 slabs and then trapdoors. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4.5. That means our slabs go there. Oh yes, how dizzy we get making towers. Ooh, sneezes snuck up on me. Wow. Glad I hit the mute button in time. Nearly lifted the roof off my apartment. Oops. Not this time. Not Mob City this time. Thank you, Kel. Appreciate it. What kind of thing would you build over an iron farm? Depends on what kind of iron farm. How big is it? What does it do? What's the theme of your area? What haven't you built before that you'd like to build now? Outcast01, thanks for the raid. Appreciate your sharing your viewers. Hope you're having a good day. I find the best way to get yourself into a frame of mind for what to build next is to ask yourself questions. It's usually the straightest direction to go in. I'm going to put in one, I guess, spoke of this tower, and we're going to see how it looks. Don't you hate it when like one rocket is not enough to get you there and another rocket is just far too much? Right, so this is straight. And then we've got 1, 2 solid blocks plus a stair. And then it just 1 and then a stair and then a single block. 1, 2 block stair, 1 block stair, and then single. I think that figuring out a steady streaming schedule is usually a good place to start. It certainly helped me get going. I mean, having the funnel of the spawn chunks to point people in my direction also helps a lot. I mean, I'm only consistent on the weekends. My weekday streams, I can still only do them whenever I have time, and sometimes I have more time than others. Hey, look, I got that right. The measurement was correct. I just need a few little bits from down here. I could try diorite. and iron. We'll try diorite just for now. So the good news is that's not going to be the same height as the tower next to it. So that's good. I don't like it when things are exactly the same height. I find it looks too what I'm looking for. Symmetrical, a little bit too balanced. Yeah, I'm happy with the height of that. I don't think, though, that I like all the spruce down there. That feels very heavy on the spruce side of things, so perhaps we do need to change these to dark oak. I think this was stone on the other one. Give me 1 second, folks. I'll be right back. Man, the weather around here lately has been an absolute gong show, and it is messing with my head. See aforementioned sneeze. Yeah, I think I like the height of that. I don't know if I like the spruce top. And we can try a bunch of different colors and things on the top of it. Ah, there's stones and slabs. I see. Wonder if we can get away with some of that polished diorite in there. I think we had it sideways. Can't remember. And then we had spruce. Nope. very much amused at you going back and forth between these two builds. Just shows how big the build is. Yeah, it is very large, isn't it? Ooh, I don't like that. That does not look good. We need a different, I think we need a different color. What if we used this point to transition into a different color from the diorite? So we could use stone there maybe. Same as the other one. I guess the difference here is that the this one is already 5 blocks wide, whereas the other one we were transitioning from a 3-block tower into a 5-block tower, and that's why it we had to add this like little shift in width. I like the color bit. I think I'm misremembering something. What I should do is just pop open a screenshot on my other monitor. That would be way more logical. No, that's exactly what we did. I remember it correctly. It just looks better over here. Oh, it's because that goes in a step. That's why. That's why it looks better. Okay. I think we'll be okay with that. Slightly Daft. Hello, welcome in. Good to see you again. That's that side. Yep, I think once we layer in the dark oak again, we'll see which one looks better. So we'll do dark oak here, and then I'll do spruce on the other ones. See which one wins. Oh, this is supposed to be higher. This, I would say, building towers with scaffolding is probably one of the few things that I find scaffolding so very useful for. Roofs and towers, for sure. All right, so this is the dark oak side. I don't know if I like this little pyramid thing we've got going on with the stairs. It looks good on the other build, but not on this one. I think I might like the spruce better than the dark oak. I was not expecting that. Yep. Yep, I prefer the spruce, but I'm still not sure about that. I feel like we might want to change that to a full block or maybe slightly different texture. So if memory serves, that's where the people inside are standing. Firepower, if you're asking about how many days I've been playing the world, 5 years. Let's try this here. Yes, years. There are people that play Minecraft that don't reset every 6 days. That helps a little bit. I still think I like the spruce at the bottom better. Yes, Mr. I did know that because I have a degree in art. That's a tough call. I kind of like both, but I'm leaning on the spruce here. You can see both. Yeah, the dark oak does have a nice contrast to it. I guess a lot will change if we decide to change it from diorite to something else, and I think I want to try that now. And I don't think I'm going to change the height of it anymore. It just seems to work so well with the other staircases. And I think this is a good opportunity to put a staircase coming down. So I think because of where we have the staircase going up, we are kind of stuck with the staircase going down happening right there. Nope, I have to be over here. That doesn't make any sense. And that pops out weirdly there. Is that the outside? It must be. Yeah. Hopefully this works out. I would say it does. Unfortunately, maybe if we change these to slabs, or not slabs, trapdoors rather. That's tricky. Only just make it. We'd have to fill that in. But that's fine because there's a giant door behind it, so there's not much that can be done there. I knew that was going to happen. Put that there. I guess that could be a slab, couldn't it? Whoops. A little bumpy on the head, but it does work. I remember all the times we AFK'd over here. I get really dizzy working on staircases. Actually, I have to be careful not to do it too quickly. Yeah, it's 100%. I can't imagine it translates to a good viewer experience either. I don't think I like that. And I don't know that we need the door. Like, I kind of feel we could probably open that up. We'll have to see. Some of the insides here might get retooled. This is kind of fun. It's like a little pedway or walkway. I think we'd want to leave that like that. Oh, whoops. feels a little bit better. Looks a little funky, but nope. What if we put it on the other side? Can't, because that's the floor. Yeah, it's a little bit strange. I kind of want this to be flush, but at the same time, this feels very narrow. Yeah, I guess it's okay. We always go through so many of these trapdoors. Yeah, I'm really hard pressed to decide between the two. I'm also thinking that this might look better if it was stone instead of stone bricks. Match that maybe. That could be cool. Either way, we can finish putting in the roof, I think, and probably get rid of the diorite up there. It'll probably end up being andesite. That's fine. One thing I find I'm guilty of is taking a really long time to decide on building something, trying to like measure the right height and all that kind of stuff, just so I don't have to rebuild it. But honestly, like something like this, you have to kind of stop yourself and say, wait a minute, how much work is it really if I built this and then have to redo it and build it like a block higher? Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, not that much work. So it's better to just give up and build it, you know, rather than try to visualize what it might look like when finished. Now, I want to say these were slabs. And that these were trapdoors. That's where I fall. Do you like the dark oak? But yeah, it's going to depend on what block you use to remove the diorite. I think so too. That's why I'm leaving them both up there. I think that that'll be the deciding factor. But I like the transparent roof. Like it's not a roof. It's more like supports for the bell. Right now, I feel like there's an awful lot of this wood showing for some reason. So the bell is connected to how many of these? All right, so there's a stripped dark oak in there. And the bell is actually just one block above your head. Oh, I forgot about the chain. And the fence is another thing. How did I get in here? Oh, right. Oh, there's a slab, I guess. Yep. So we'll put in the bell. Lo, thanks so much for hanging out. Appreciate the gift subs going out to those new folks and old folks. Kind of you to support. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully the work and adulting doesn't last too long. Probably not going to need those. Now, brush my rockets while I think about it. What do we want to change the top of this roof to? I mean, really, a light color would work. I don't want it to be bright and colorful. I feel like any kind of granite or brick are going to clash with this stuff. It's really cool that you can see it coming around the corner now too. That's fun. How long does it take to walk from one end of the tunnel east to west? I actually don't know. It's about 20 to 21 chunks, but it's not a straight line. More break time when you're ready. Thank you, Cosmic. So something like that wouldn't work. Attempted to do brown terracotta. But it feels so boring. White terracotta is going to be too like cream colored, I think. Cyan might work. Anyway, what we will do is we will pop back over to a place that I'm not loading, and we will chill out for the break in, I think, maybe the magistrate's house. A little bit safer. As per usual, once an hour, I step away for a short break. You should too. Rest your eyes, grab a friend, grab a snack. We'll be right back. Need to sleep, and there's no bed outside, so we'll sneak a bed up here. Thank you, Cosmic, Dan, and Kel. And since we're all the way over here, last comment got me curious. I don't know if it's necessarily the farthest point west, but it's certainly the west gate. Oh, hi, friend. Oh. Alright, 6:30. We'll walk instead of run, because specifically the question was walk. So there's a little clock underneath the map on the right-hand side. And since we're building at the east gate, we'll just see how long it takes to walk from the west gate to the east gate. Smart Joel put a bed in every building. Almost every building. Definitely almost every building. My guess, it's going to be 2.5 minutes. There's 1 minute, and we're about halfway, so I might be off a little bit. Oh, there's 2 minutes. No, that's not quite 2 minutes. That's 1.5. So just short of 2 minutes. Like 1 minute and 40 seconds to walk from one side to the other. So these are the 4 colors that I'm thinking of trying. And we'll see how this looks. So this is the same form, but it's made with materials that are already being used nearby. And then try something a little bit different. I don't think this, I'm going to like this, but we'll see. I think most of the terracotta is probably going to look too new for this side of the town. Would be my guess. Survey says bleh, no to the pink. Don't mind that. That's kind of cool. I think maybe the brown terracotta might be the way to go just because it's got a different, slightly different texture than the dark oak. This makes it all feel very dark though. I feel like we might have to go with something lighter. We could also try strip spruce too. The white is very pink for that reason, yeah. I don't like the cyan either. I mean, it doesn't help that I didn't do those. Whatever it is, I think it has to be lighter in tone than any of those. Right? Like I feel like even though the color is not right, the tone of that one is the right tone. We want it to be, I think, lighter than spruce. So, lighter than spruce, he says. So definitely no for these guys. And if we did actual spruce over here, it would look like... Oh, I didn't bring any. Crap. We can always combine the two as well. So this is just boring old spruce. I mean, it works. It's not the best, but it does feel natural to the environment. Yeah, I don't like the mushroom. The mushroom stem isn't bad. Although it feels like it kind of clashes with the diorite. We could try quartz too. Also, these I believe I had as slabs on the other side. I think that will help. And I want to put the bell in, but once I put the bell in, it becomes really difficult to walk around in here. Bone would not be too white. I've done a lot of that before. A lot of bone on the other side of town. All over there. And I don't think I did any over there. No. But yeah, bone block's an option as well. Got a funny feeling we might be mixing a couple of things. Bone block and grab the signs. Quartz. The other thing we can try is to kind of like continue the framing. Like we've got this spruce framing that's happening. So what if we kept the frame going up, but then also kept the diorite? Try that. And then this was going to be bone block. Oops. I feel like a lot of the white blocks are just clashing with the diorite. We have not tried mud, no. That's a good one. And we wouldn't have had mud at the time that I built this. Because I'm not sure when. Someone could look it up on Joel Duggan VODs, but I want to say this was like 2000. It's probably in 21. Yeah, it would have been 21. So it's at least 2 years ago that we built this. So there's an example of the diorite continuing up, which is not the end of the world. I don't know. I don't like the white, I don't think. Let's go grab that shulker of mud. So much flying around today. I'm glad I refreshed my rockets. I'm also not exactly finesse with the elytra today. A lot of bashing my face off of stuff. What's one of these? Go. Don't think there's anything we're missing. I know I don't want to make it dark. Yeah. The mud might look good. So I think the one that is the most problematic is probably the quartz. Doesn't seem to match quite the way that we want it to. This is definitely a tip that I like to maintain is if you've got a build that's symmetrical and you can start like building pieces of it in different techniques, then at least you can step back and compare them. Now the bonus there is that if we've got stairs and slabs in the bricks, then we can make a little bit of a more interesting pattern up here, which could be cool. Try something on this right-hand corner here. Just out of curiosity, what if this was actually all dark? Delara subscribing at tier 1 for 19 months, coming up with a big 2-0. Thanks very much, Delara. Time goes too fast. I agree. It's hard to believe that we've been after this build for such a long time. I'm finding the whole thing very dark and hard to see. I don't know whether it's just whenever I try to look at it or what, but I find the whole thing very difficult. If I did that, I would probably change that to spruce. Yeah, I don't like the diorite. Whatever we do there, we'll have to switch. And the mud, I guess we should switch these off. Yeah, the mud brick is too busy. I wonder if we can combine the spruce supports with mud. That's all mud. It's not terrible. Yeah, it's the dark oak is too much at the bottom. The mud doesn't really clash with anything over here, so that's good. You do really see it super clearly with the bone block. Feel like we might have to go with something like the bone block. I think I like the stripped spruce for the edges. It just feels like it's so much more of a continual thing. We could go with the obvious, which would be stone. So unfortunately, I feel like the mud and the spruce are just too close in color. That starts to feel really boring, doesn't it? I feel like these little bits here are our only chance to pop in some sort of color. I also just had a brain fart, and I kind of wonder whether we could push the bottom of this out a little bit to make it look more interesting. probably could. Can't see anything in the dark. All right. Color. Color, 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 color. Or at the very least, contrast. So we could try these. And try the dark oak. My guess is that this is going to be too dark, but we'll see. Whoa, the Elytra did not open. Yeah, and that's too busy, right? Like, it just get into this part of it. The dark oak might actually be the best way to go. Feels like a bit of a cop-out, but I guess it works there with the spruce. It might not work with dark oak stairs. Yeah, I don't like the composter. Worth a try. Someone was asking earlier about blocks. Stairs and slabs and stripped wood would be nice. I think if we go with the stripped dark oak in there, we have to go with the spruce stairs on the outside. Yeah, deep slate I think is too dark. And there's hardly anything over here with deep slate in it, like absolutely nothing. So I'm trying to remember that this was all meant to be built at the same time. But then older than the other parts of the city. I feel like the dark oak next to the spruce is probably the way to go. After all that experimentation, it just... Nothing else over here. Everything over here is very earthy. There's not a lot of bright colors. I don't want to use green because we use that in the inn. I think stripped acacia is going to be a little bit too bright, but yeah, we can give it a go. It's got a weird kind of muddiness to it that I'm not sure about. Yeah, that doesn't match really anything in the area. All right, let's switch out these stairs because I think this is going to have to change. It's always frustrating when like you think you want to do something different, but then you try all the different things and they just don't seem to work. Oops. I mean, it still looks good, just not as different as I was hoping it was going to look. Oh, whoops. That means that normally we would have signs here compared to the other build, right? Maybe those signs need to be dark oak signs. We'll see. I do like the fact that we can get out here. I think that's cool. It makes sense too from like if you were to use your bow and arrow. Plus, it's nice to have building access out here too. I think that's the same all the way around, and it looks good up here to have these as spruce, but then down here it looks kind of funny. So maybe we have to switch these. Thankfully they're not that different. But that does look better down there, yeah. All right, so the bell was 1 block above your head. And then there was, I want to say there was at least 3 of these. could be wrong. Maybe there was only 2. I think I might have those upside down. I don't remember. Glad to catch you as well. Probably Binky. Thanks so much for hanging out. And happy birthday. I didn't realize it was your birthday. That's awesome. Stripped birch? No, that would be too light, I think. Yeah, okay, so it's 1, 2, and I guess I didn't need the third. But then underneath there is, I don't remember what's inside here. Just nothing. And a chain. Kind of like being able to see more of that. Wonder if we could change that a little bit. I think the signs help. We'll try dark oak signs, but I doubt they'll be what we want. I think they're probably going to be too dark. Whoa, wow. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that before we wrap up today, as we'll go repair the elytra. You're right. It definitely is going to need some TLC. Oh, I forgot grindstones. I think it's because the tower was making me dizzy. And that's why I decided not to constantly walk up and down. Plus, we've been flying back and forth to the other side as well. So I actually like seeing that. So how can we change this to be a bit more visible? Is this going to look flimsy? Part of the problem, of course, is that for me, I always have to back up and look at things. That doesn't look too bad. Certainly makes it more visible. Yeah, I do need a backup and review platform. They're hard to land on in Minecraft, that's the only thing. All right, let's do this all the way around. Whoops. Oh, I don't have enough trapdoors. That goes there. That goes there. Move these. And then last bit. Did I remember to put the bell back together? I think I did. Going back a few years, but you need a screenshot platform. Yeah. Screenshot thing from Vaston. That would be cool. I think that's pretty neat. If you imagine yourself coming across a bridge that actually existed here. The only thing now I'm not so sure about is the stone stairs underneath all of that. I certainly like it better than what was there before. These feel a little bit strange now. But I want to see that chain. Yeah, ultimately I think we made the right decision. I am curious to see if we can make this part work. Don't know if I'd want to go farther out here. Yeah, that doesn't seem to make much sense. This though could happen. Oh, we've got to test the signs too. Thanks, Cal. Appreciate that. And Cosmic as well. Glad you like it. Few things left to be done inside, of course. I also wanted to test out dark oak signs, but I'm pretty sure we're going to like the other ones. It's not bad. It's not about one not working and the other working. It's about which, just like a personal subjective preference. And they're not a huge deal because after a certain distance they don't render in. Yeah, I've got the chain on the other one too, Dan, and the only difference is that it's like one extra chain link is visible, and I think we can see it from the other way around. It might be just because that tower is so high that you don't really get to see it. And most of the time that you're approaching it straight on, so you don't really get to see the chain so much. Yeah, and then you're down so low, you don't really get to see it. It's totally there. Yep, we gotta be careful. I kind of like the dark oak. What do we think, chat? Dark oak signs or spruce signs? Yeah, I think the dark oak makes them look more decorative too. I think you're right. Do we have enough? No. I need more. Yeah, I think we can do like a little extra at the end of the stream. We'll go to the piglin farm and fix the stuff. I don't think I need any more supplies, so it'll be a short run. There's a lot of dark oak in this area too, so it makes sense. I think they'll look even better when they wrap around. It's also nice that because the tower is shorter, it does render the signs in closer. Like you don't have to, you can get closer to the tower and see the signs without having them disappear because of the height render distance. Okay, is there anything else? Like I said, the only thing that kind of stuck out to me was the stone stairs now. But everything in here is pretty smooth. I guess we could look to see... I don't remember what the light levels were in the other tower, but... we're good here. And there's block light coming in from, oh, there's torches there. That does take it down to 0. So there has to be some sort of light in here. Yeah, that's what it was. Really, that torch down there, I guess, was getting all the way up here. So if we put a single light source, let's just say we find a way to hang a lantern in here. That squashes all the light problems. Probably on the way down too. Yep. I love it. One light source is all we need. Oh, and we also need to fill that in. Let's just do slabs. I'll probably end up piling stuff in there, like barrels and like a chest or something, just so we don't hit our head. I mean, I could also just throw in a couple of pieces of diorite for now too. I don't think I like that blocking, walking up the corner. And that's another reason why I think that it might be good to remove this and just have like an archway. That's a lot of zeros. Should totally fly over lava in the nether. Oh, that's a hard no today. Early game Minecraft, you never get the drops that you want. And then late game, when you don't need arrows and stuff, you just kind of get them constantly. Pretty funny. So is there anything else down here other than like maybe adding a little bit of grass, which I don't have with me? I don't think we'd really need to make this feel more robust. We could just pile some stones and stuff up there. Down the bottom, it should be okay. But I like adding some detail there. I just think the bottom of the tower should come out a little bit as well. This is the kind of place where I can see myself working a little bit of tuff. Now that we have tuff as a block, since we've built this, bringing that along down here. I don't know if I want to keep this little pit or whether it might be worth like filling it in with water or something. Maybe that was the original idea. I don't actually remember. All right, let's get some more rockets. Not that we're going to be doing a lot of flying. And no tools need repairing. Bone block. We'll get some more bone block while we're gone. Terracotta. If you go to Twitter, Chixley, I think that's how you say that. One of my recent tweets from Thursday, there's a bird's eye view of the whole town. Nice rendered shader screenshot. So I think that worked out pretty well. I think that now coming in to this side of town, it's a lot more interesting. I like the combination of having a bell tower here and a bell tower over there. I think it looks cool. I think the dark oak, even though we went through a bunch of different options, I think the dark oak was the right way to go. I do like the dark oak signs too. They kind of look like strapping, which is nice. Yeah, I like it. Cool, thanks Cosmic. And the yellow adds a nice little bit of color here too, which again goes with all the yellows and browns and like warmer colors over here. Cool. All right. I'm going to take a slightly different route, but we are going to go to the Nether and the zombie piglin farm to fix the elytra. Gives me a chance to chat. I feel like I've been not ignoring chat, but I feel like I've been just busy creating today. And do you think that this should be a paved road, like all stone? Right now, you can see on the map, it just kind of comes together. Kind of wonder whether we should turn this into like a stone road. I'm wondering if like this section here should be all stone, and then here is where the stone road will maybe like fade into dirt and become a dirt road as we end up walking away towards the farms and things. Yeah, I needed like a focus day, I think, Cal. I say that, and like the Lego Let's Chat yesterday, I felt like I wasn't speaking with chat very much either. But I guess in a certain way, like that's kind of the MO for my streams. Like I read chat and I talk to chat, but I don't necessarily chatter constantly, I guess. And I'm not saying that that's bad. I'm just saying that's not my style. Which is surprising given how much I talk in real life. We've got to add this path to our book of to-do lists as well. When we get into the countryside fixes, this thing really needs to be sorted out. Although I'm getting an abysmal frame rate through here. Hard on the eyes. I like all the different sounds under your feet as you walk this. You got that out before I could type it? Nice. Nice, Cosmic. I did some stuff way back when I first started out here that I should try and do more of. I like how that looks. That little bridge that we just crossed in the medieval area, Cosmic, I think we could do something like that with this and just kind of like inch it over each bit. Plus, I can move this. You know, I can rotate and move that so that maybe when you come off the bridge, rather than us having to make a right-hand turn, I could change this to face this way, and then you could just like have like a straight shot and walk like right into it. That could be kind of fun. Kind of a fun little like post-medieval world project. Oh look, 3 XP. Elytra first, I guess. I've got to look up my connected glass mod as well. See if that's been updated, because I'm tired of seeing all these grid glass lines when they should be smooth with our texture pack. So the one drawback of switching from Optifine to Sodium was the loss of connected textures. Yeah, I can. Yeah, if you were thinking that too, Cosmic, then I can move the command block and the portal. That's not hard to do. Oh, I was over a stone road. That's fine. Lots of piglins are waiting for us. I will take the gold, so let's just check to see what's not mine. We're halfway there. Living dangerously with the wings, we're good now. Didn't take very long to fix it either. I do wish that these had a higher durability. So we were talking about trim, armor trim, that they added in this latest snapshot for 1.20. I think a lighter trim would be an excellent addition, because I think it would give people an option to have a different elytra model, if they had a better elytra model, something that wasn't so paper thin. I think that'd be great. Do I have Unbreaking on them? Oh, Unbreaking 2. I probably have Unbreaking 3 somewhere. It just adds to my list of like cool stuff I have to make, you know. Elytra trims, I think that would be fantastic. Because I mean, like all that chest plate trim, like all that great chest plate trim that they just showed everybody. How many people walk around without a chest plate on because they're walking around with elytra, right? I mean, I guess they probably don't want to lessen the impact of things like capes and whatnot, but anyway, I don't need anything there. We did just die, so I'll grab a couple more levels while we're here, just in case I have to like rename stuff or anything like that. Pretty good farm though, like for something that's built in the nether, probably because we've done all the spawn proofing around it. You can see all the slabs spawn proofing that we've done. It's not 100% because you can still see the caves, obviously, but we've done most of it. I should go and find that cave though. That's more than likely a problem. I think the only time people look at their capes is like for me when I've got my elytra on, right? Like this is a specific cape. I think it's from Dungeons, Minecraft Dungeons. I don't remember. I think my other elytra texture is, I think it's like a tech set. Where is it? Video settings? Skin customization. Cape off. Yeah. So this is the custom texture that I have for my elytra. Looks like Green Goblin kind of stuff. But for the medieval area, I thought that the cape sort of looked cool. It looked kind of like a royal cape, and it goes better with my my Canadian plaid shirt. All right, I'd say that's probably enough. I'm going to grab 3 more nuggets just so I can make a full thing here. He's melting something. You know what? I'm going to deposit those and take an extra one there. Oh, is the cape updating the Minecraft launcher or Microsoft launcher? That could be it. Big head face, yeah. That could be it too. It was something along those lines. That all happened around the same time that Dungeons got an update as well, I think. My bow is in need of repair too. So for me, getting extra bones usually means a trip to the moss farm. And that is up. Where'd it go? This way. Those guys were like walking in unison for a while there. Looks like it's probably dark too. We don't have a bed here, I don't think. So the moss farm we have is out here. Currently off. I think it works. I haven't tested it in a while. But we do have bone meal. So not as many bones as I was hoping. So I may have to turn that on at some point to get a few more. Now, which way do we want to go? All right. I think that's probably a good spot to leave it for today. We can pass y'all on. Let's send y'all over to Tadpool Milk. another streamer that I quite enjoy. I think you will too. Some more Minecraft for your Minecraft day. I will be back, I want to say, tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic. That's UTC -4. I'm also going to be joined by a guest on Monday on the Spawn Chunks because Johnny is traveling. So tune in for that to find out exactly who that is and when that's going to be recording. I don't think we're going to do it live. I think we'll probably do a private recording and then I'll post it later. And then we've also got more Citadel Cafe, hopefully scheduled for next week as well. But yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it. Follow me on social media at Joel Duggan. Be sure to check out Patreon if you'd like to support the stream in a slightly different way. And again, Cosmic, thank you ever so much for the wonderful donation today. Thanks to everybody for resubbing. Thanks for the new people coming in. I know that was a new Prime sub, I think, today, and a couple of gift subs. Very much appreciated. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.